Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I am back with another Scrap 5 challenge layout, and I am going to be scrapbooking 2 photos of my grandson today. Now the challenge this month was from Rebecca to use diamonds, rhinestones or crystals. Brad, do a half and half design, use thread and also some Nuvo drops or enamel shapes. Now I will go ahead and link all the items I used today down below in my description box, as well as the links for all of the ladies who are taking part in the challenge this month. Now this layout is going to be really simple. It's going to be fast. And I am using this Vicki Boutin pattern paper here as half of my layout. So you can see I pulled out a white piece of cardstock there to build my layout on. And I went about halfway in, and I'm going to tear my paper just to have that torn edge there on half of the design. And my first idea was to just go ahead and use the white cardstock as the second half. So I'm going to put my 2 photos here, and I decided I wanted to go ahead and mat these photos, and just pulling out some pattern paper, trying to decide which one to mat my photos on. I grabbed a scrap piece of yellow pattern paper, also from this collection by Vicki Boutin. And Vicki Boutin is a collection is a designer, I should say, I often go to when scrapbooking my grandson's photos, mostly because of the colors she includes in all of her collections. They're always so bright, full of color, so I'm always able to find colors that will be a little bit more geared towards boy layouts. So here I flipped over that pattern paper there that I was going to use as a mat. I was going to use the yellow side of it. When I flipped it over, I saw all of these little dots there, and I thought it looked really well with that pattern paper that's already on the left. So I decided that's going to be the other half of my design. And here I am going to use the Simple Stories paper pad to mat my photos on with that black and white pattern paper, as well as this green pattern paper here. So I was really happy for this challenge today because I've been away for maybe about 2 months now. I haven't been crafting as much as I used to, so this challenge definitely helped to give me some direction and inspiration for my layout today. If you're ever feeling stuck at all, go ahead, grab a sketch to work with. You can also find inspiration by looking at layouts by your favorite designers, maybe scrap lifting them. And you can also do a challenge such as this one. Now, if you decide to take on this challenge, be sure to let us know where we can take a look at your completed layout. And if you add it on Instagram, you can just go ahead and use the hashtag scrap5 there. We'll be able to see it on Instagram. And don't forget, I am adding in the ladies who's participating today down in my description box. They will give you guys lots of ideas on how you can use these items yourself. So here I have my photos all matted and ready, and I adhered it to my background. Loving how this looks. And next up, I believe I will add in my title. I am going to use some black puffy word phrases from the Vicki Boutin sticker sheet there. And these photos are of my grandson. One would be when school started and on the first day of school, and the other one would be the last day of school. So seeing that it was the beginning of summer vacation, was the last day of school, I wanted it to say, oh yes, summer vibe, but the word summer on my alpha sticker sheet did not have an E, so I went ahead and just used fun instead, and I think it still works really well with this layout. Now adding in those black puffy phrases there, it definitely added some contrast to the layout, and also it tied in with the black mat that I used behind the photos. So here I have my thread, and I decided to go with the gold instead of the silver thread. And I'm getting ready right now to add it behind my photos, but I decided put it aside for a little bit until after adding in my embellishment clusters. So I went through this die cut pack here and I pulled out a few that I think is gonna work with this layout, and especially with a boy layout. I sometimes add florals to my boy layouts, but rarely do I really do that. And I love Vicki Boutin collections, like I said before, because she gives you a lot of other icons in her die cut packs that can work with boy layouts. So I went ahead, I added those die cuts onto the background and I like how they look. So I'm just gonna go ahead now and adhere them down. Now I am gonna add my thread, and these very thin thread, they are hard to work with sometimes. I added in some liquid adhesive, bunched up my thread, and I'm just tucking it behind my photo, and it's gonna get caught on that liquid adhesive back there and stay in place. And I'm just tucking in just the little end there of the thread under the photo. And I'm gonna go ahead and adhere the pieces of die cuts here to the lower left corner and do the same with my thread. I actually added a bit of the thread on to one of the die cut pieces just to give me a head start, and I did add some liquid adhesive afterwards as well to keep it in place. Now once I have this down, I am gonna go ahead and cut a banner to add on top of that embellishment cluster, and that's where I'll add in a little bit of journaling. I have a hard time adding a lot of journaling, adding like long stories to my layouts, but I definitely wanted to add in what these photos were about and who the photos were of, which is Jaden, and the year they were taken. Now I did use a glaze pen for my journaling, and I'm not sure what happened. I should have grabbed my fine tip pen. So the letters, some of them, the writing is a little thick, but you can still see exactly what it says. But I wish I would have grabbed my fine tip pen instead. So for that banner, I used a scrap piece. I believe it was the manufacturer's strip from one of the pattern papers. And I'm gonna use the same strip here, cut another banner to add to that cluster next to the photo on the left. I did trim it down a bit, and I'm just gonna tuck it in right to the end. So next up, I'm gonna pull out some other items we need to use on our layout. One of them would be the rhinestone crystals, or some kind of bling diamonds. I decided to go with what I consider crystals. These look like water drops actually, but they are crystals, and I will link them down in my description box. They're really, really cute. I used just 3 of them on the background here, and I'm going to use my liquid adhesive there to adhere them. Now adding them in, you might be able to see it's white right now behind the crystals, but once it dries, this liquid adhesive dries clear, and you'll definitely be able to see it in the close-up photos at the end of this video, and they're completely clear. Really, really awesome that they're clear, and it looks nice on this project. So we're gonna also be using brads, and I don't have a lot of brads in my stash. I have been destashing a lot recently within the past month, or a little bit more than a month, and I just want to say thanks to everyone who's been coming over to my destash group and finding new homes for these items that I can no longer use. Thanks to you guys a lot. And if you're not already checking out what I have there listed for sale, be sure to check it out. The group is in my description box down below. So for these brads, I am using this really cool tool here to set these brads there. This pokey tool here, it goes through layers of paper, you can see. And the other end of that tool will help me to split the end of the brad once I flip it over. And it makes it really, really easy so you don't poke your fingers while trying to split them apart there. Now, I also add some washi to the back side there. That way, once I'm sliding this behind another layout, it's not going to snag on that other layout and maybe damage it at all or damage my page protectors. So I added in 2 there. I'm going to add a third one in, but I wanted to have these 2 in place just to give me a better idea where I wanted that third brad to go. So I'm just going to use my pokey tool there once again to go ahead and add in that third brad to the right side of the layout. So now that I have my brads down, I am going to go ahead and add just that tiny bit of journaling that I mentioned before. That these are pictures of the first day of school versus a picture of the last day of school for Jaden. Next up, I need to use Nuvo drops or enamel shapes. I decided to go with the Nuvo drops, and I'm using that green. I mean, I'm not sure what color that is, which green that is, but I will have it listed in the description box below. And I'm just adding in 1 drop there to those clusters. I think I add a bit more than just 1 on the right side just to balance things out nicely. I really love how this turned out. It's really colorful, it's bold, and I don't think it's overdone at all. I kept it really simple with the embellishments, and I really love how it turned out. Really fun, fast, and easy layout today. A nice way to jump back into scrapbooking. And I hope you guys were inspired. I hope you enjoyed the video today, and I hope you come back for more. Here we have some still shots as well. You can see there that it's pretty clear behind that crystal. And I have just a few more. So I want to thank you all for watching today, and until my next video, bye.